What if death isn't the end? Groundbreaking science is now challenging everything we thought we knew about consciousness and the afterlife. From near-death experiences where people accurately describe events outside their bodies to children who remember past lives with shocking detail, researchers are uncovering evidence that the human soul may be real. Could consciousness exist beyond the brain? The data suggests we're more than just flesh and blood. Dive into the mysteries of life after death where science meets the soul. The age-old question of whether human consciousness persists after death, often conceptualized as the existence of a soul, has long been a subject of philosophical and religious debate. However, intriguing lines of scientific inquiry and compelling anecdotal evidence are increasingly suggesting that there may be more to our existence than the purely physical. While definitive proof remains elusive, a growing body of research offers tantalizing glimpses into the possibility of an afterlife and a non-corporeal aspect of human identity. Near-death experiences. Windows into another realm? One of the most compelling areas of study involves near-death experiences, NDEs. These are profound subjective experiences reported by individuals who have been on the brink of death, often surviving clinical death due to cardiac arrest. Lucid consciousness beyond brain activity. Pioneering research, such as the AWARE studies led by Dr. Sam Parnia, has investigated awareness during resuscitation. These studies have documented cases where individuals report clear, lucid experiences while they were seemingly unconscious and, in some instances, when brain activity was expected to be minimal or absent. Survivors describe a perception of separation from their physical body, observing ongoing events without pain or distress, and undergoing a meaningful evaluation of their lives. Remarkably, some studies have detected spikes of brain activity, including gamma, delta, theta, alpha, and beta wavesome, normally associated with conscious mental functions up to an hour into CPR. Dr. Parnia has suggested these findings indicate that the human sense of self and consciousness may not stop completely around the time of death, and that these experiences represent a unique human experience that emerges on the brink of death, potentially offering access to new dimensions of reality. Some researchers conclude that consciousness precedes matter and is not merely a product of it. Veridical out-of-body experiences, OBEs. A significant feature of many NDEs is the out-of-body experience, OBE, where individuals report perceiving events from a vantage point outside their physical body. Dr. Jeffrey Long, through the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation, NDEF, has collected thousands of NDE accounts, with a substantial portion including OBEs. In many instances, NDEs accurately describe details of their resuscitation or surrounding events that they could not have perceived through their physical senses. Studies by researchers like Dr. Michael Sabom and Dr. Penny Sartori have also reported cases where NDEs provided remarkably accurate descriptions of their resuscitation procedures, details later verified by medical staff. One NDEF review of 287 NDEs with OBEs found that 97.6% of the OBE descriptions were reported as entirely realistic, and among those who personally investigated their OBE observations, none found any inaccuracy. Such accounts challenge purely physiological explanations, suggesting that consciousness may indeed operate independently of the physical brain. Furthermore, a survey of over 100 NDEs found that nearly 75% reported having more consciousness and alertness than normal during their experience. Reincarnation research, echoes of past lives. The work of Dr. Ian Stevenson at the University of Virginia provides another intriguing line of evidence suggestive of a soul that persists beyond a single lifetime. Over several decades, Stevenson meticulously investigated thousands of cases of children, often from diverse cultural backgrounds, who reported memories of previous lives. Verified memories and corresponding birthmarks. Stevenson's methodology involved carefully documenting the children's statements about a supposed past life and then attempting to verify these details against the facts of a deceased individual's life, ideally before any contact between the families involved. In numerous cases, the specific and often obscure details recalled by the children match the lives of deceased individuals, sometimes in distant locations and unknown to the child's current family. Perhaps even more compelling was Stevenson's documentation of birthmarks and birth defects on these children that corresponded to wounds, often fatal, on the body of the claimed previous personality. He would seek medical records or autopsy reports to verify these correspondences, presenting numerous such cases in his extensive work Reincarnation and Biology. For instance, a child might be born with a distinctive mark, precisely where the alleged previous personality had suffered a gunshot wound or a surgical incision. While Dr. Stevenson himself was cautious, stating his findings were suggestive of reincarnation rather than definitive proof, he concluded that for the stronger cases, reincarnation was the best, even though not the only, explanation. He proposed that reincarnation could be a factor, alongside genetics and environment, in shaping personality, phobias, and unusual abilities. Theoretical and philosophical support. Beyond specific case studies, some scientific theories and philosophical arguments lend support to the idea of a soul or consciousness existing beyond the purely material, biocentrism and fundamental consciousness. Dr. Robert Lanza, a stem cell researcher, proposed the theory of biocentrism, which suggests that consciousness is fundamental to the universe rather than an emergent property of it. This perspective implies that life and consciousness create reality, and that death as we understand it may be an illusion tied to our bodily existence. Such theories open the door to considering the soul not as a mere byproduct of brain function, but as an intrinsic aspect of existence. Philosophical arguments for an immaterial soul. Philosophically, the concept of an immaterial soul has a long and rich history. Ancient Greek philosophers like Plato argued for the soul's immortality, distinct from the physical body. Plato, in works like the Phaedo, presented arguments such as the soul's ability to grasp eternal forms and the idea of knowledge as recollection from a pre-existence, suggesting its non-physical and enduring nature. René Descartes later posited a clear mind-body dualism, arguing that the mind, or soul, is a non-physical thinking substance distinct from the physical body. These dualist perspectives maintain that mental activity is not reducible to mere cerebral activity, allowing for the possibility of the soul's survival after bodily death. Some theories even propose that the soul is the basis of life, endowing animate matter with excitement, feelings, mind, and consciousness. The afterlife as a logical extension. Some researchers argue that the existence of an afterlife is a logical proof of the soul's existence, as an afterlife would be meaningless without a soul to experience it. Theoretical proofs based on logic, set theory, and quantum physics have been proposed to support the concept of reincarnation or an afterlife, suggesting that when animals and humans die, their bodies and minds, souls separate, with the soul being reborn. While mainstream science often operates within a materialist framework, the phenomena surrounding near-death experiences, children's past life memories, and certain theoretical and philosophical perspectives offer compelling reasons to consider the possibility that human consciousness is more than just the workings of the brain. These lines of evidence, taken together, paint a picture that is strongly suggestive of a soul that endures beyond physical death, inviting further open-minded inquiry into one of humanity's most profound questions.